Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to GBFC 2, the home of the second channel of the George Benson Football Channel. Before the weekend began, I gave my Premier League predictions for game week number 1. I also gave on the main channel my predictions for the Premier League in general, and I thought I'd go back to what I wanted GBFC 2 to be at the beginning, which was like a channel where we don't sit down and make videos, we take a little wander in the sun, in the shade, wherever we may go. And today we're going to give, as the sun is absolutely blaring in my face right now, we're going to talk about match week number 1 in the Premier League. We're going to start, of course, with Brentford, who made the most astonishing start to life in the Premier League that you could ever imagine, beating Arsenal 2-0. And at the same time, it's also not really the biggest surprise ever that Arsenal are beaten in match week number 1, because I think we've all got to stop treating them now as if they're some kind of big club that should be challenging every season for the top honours, because they're not that any longer, and Brentford put them to the sword. It was a wonderful debut display, and for me the best thing about it was the fans. You know, there were some absolutely beautiful moments inside. I'm going to call it Griffin Park because I'm not a believer in these new stadiums being built and then having a sponsor's name or whatever it is. So for me, Brentford still play at Griffin Park. And the atmosphere was just sensational. There are beautiful moments left, right and centre on the TV. I love how on the commentary, a lot of the footage from inside the stadium, they just let the noise play out. You know, it's been so long since we've been able to have fans in the stadium, since we've been able to listen to fans cheering on TV, to hear those organic noises that make football what it is. It was absolutely beautiful. Brentford are off to a flyer, and they go in on Saturday morning top of the Premier League, which was a massive, massive surprise, but not for long, because Manchester United rocked up at Old Trafford. They unveiled Raphael Varane, who I think is going to be an excellent signing for United, and then they score 5 against Leeds. It finishes 5-1. There was a flurry of goals at the beginning of the second half, but it was the Pogba-Bruno Fernandes combination that got it for me. The two of them together, when Paul Pogba is on song, there are very few midfielders in the world that can have as big of an impact. Look at the nice light coming through these trees, by the way. It's absolutely gorgeous. There isn't a midfielder in the world that can have the kind of impact that Pogba has. He can be an absolute game changer, a winner. He's a World Cup winner for France, scored in a World Cup final. The man, when he's on song, is absolutely brilliant. And Manchester United this season, if they keep hold of Pogba, which I think they will, because there's not much talk of a replacement coming in yet. PSG are interested, but I mean, where's he even going to fit into that team? He will get into that team, but PSG have already got too many good players. United don't want to sell him. They're talking about trying to extend his contract right now, and if he does, then I think United are going to be very, very dangerous indeed. Bruno Fernandes gets himself a hat-trick. I actually didn't put him in my fantasy team because for whatever reason, I made the catastrophic error in thinking that Bruno Fernandes was going to flop in match week number 1. I actually thought Leeds were going to do okay. In my predictions, I said 3-1 to Manchester United, and then I changed my mind just before kickoff. I started watching it and I thought, I think Leeds are going to get them here, you know, but it didn't happen that way. Chelsea off to a flyer. I've spoken about it countless times on GBFC, so I won't talk about it for too long. 3-0 win against Palace. Could not have been any more comfortable. To focus on Palace though, Patrick Vieira is going to be worried, isn't he? I think I didn't see enough at all from Palace to suggest that at any point during this game that they were going to give Chelsea any problems. You know, they had no attacking threat whatsoever. Wilfried Zaha, as he so often does when things aren't going Palace's way, looked disinterested. He wasn't trying to really grab the game by the horns and actually get the initiative in Palace's favour. I think they might struggle unless they spend even more money, which again, the more money you spend when you've already bought in a lot of new players, it could take time for these players to gel together. And I just wonder for Palace, a bad start to the season, which I've already said. I said it in my Premier League predictions. I think Palace will have a very rough start to the season. And then I said that Vieira would sort it out. But considering Vieira himself has come out and said that Palace do need to make more signings, it does make me worry that even Patrick Vieira isn't convinced by his team. Now, we're not going to talk about every single match in all of these Premier League reviews because it does get a bit monotonous. I'm going to talk about the ones that I think were the most important, or the points that I think were the most important. Brighton get off to a flyer. They win away at Burnley after going 1-0 down to a James Tarkowski goal in the second minute. Brighton score late to win the game 2-1, big 3 points for them. There was also a very good result for Liverpool away at Norwich at Carrow Road on Saturday evening in the late kickoff. Goals for Mo Salah on opening day. I mean, there's not really much surprise there, is there? Mohamed Salah on opening day, it's basically like when you go to the fairground, you just know you're going to buy candy floss. That's what it's like for Mo Salah on the opening day of the season. Always gets himself a goal. And I think Liverpool this year, Firmino, Mane and Salah can kick on the way that at times last season they just didn't do. With Virgil van Dijk back, Alisson committing his future to the club long term, Liverpool are kind of, in a weird kind of way now, they're kind of dark horses in the Premier League, because City are obviously the champions. Chelsea have spent a lot of money, they're the European champions. So Liverpool at the moment are kind of quietly going about their business. In terms of actual transfer business, there is a lack of it. But they do have a very, very good starting 11, which when everybody is fit, they have one of the best teams in the country and in Europe. So a very, very good start for Liverpool. I want to also talk about Newcastle versus West Ham. Good start to the game from Newcastle. West Ham, in the first half, looked as though they were still during pre-season. It looked as though they're all still sat in front of the TV watching England at the Euros, but in the second half, they turned it on. I think Said Benrahma didn't really set the world alight in his debut season at West Ham. It wasn't awful, but he could have definitely done a lot more. And I think this season, with West Ham at the moment seemingly not spending a lot of money, shoestring squad that we talked about in the Premier League predictions video, West Ham fans will be disappointed because they'd have wanted to see the team invested in this season in order for them to be able to push on from their Europa League finish last year. And I said it before, I think the Europa League could actually be a bit of a curse to West Ham United this season because they don't have that many players to be able to do the Thursday night games then going in to Premier League football on a Saturday or a Sunday, or maybe even a Friday night or a Monday night. It's scattered everywhere these days. So West Ham get a good result, 4-2 win at Newcastle. Mikhail Antonio again looking good. Souček on the score sheet, there's not really much surprise there. They're actually fogging right now, which is a way to get rid of mosquitoes and stuff. I love doing these walking videos because you guys get to see the environment a little bit more. In Bali, in an empty hotel, I've literally got the whole place to myself. It's amazing. So, also, let's talk, shall we, about Spurs. That's the main one I wanted to finish on today. Spurs are beaten by Manchester City. No, they're not. Man City are beaten by Spurs. This is the nature of GBFC 2. We correct the mistakes and we roll and we move. What a result for Spurs. What a goal as well from Heung-min Son. That guy, people talk about Harry Kane could be on his way to Manchester City. In my opinion, when you look at what Heung-min Son did yesterday with no Harry Kane in the starting 11, you can argue that Heung-min Son is actually just as important to Spurs as Harry Kane is. It was a fantastic goal, and as much as you guys know it's no surprise, I don't like Tottenham one bit. The performance they put in yesterday was a very, very good one. Nuno has got them looking defensively solid, even in match week number 1 against the best team in the country. And for me, the best thing about what Spurs did, if you're a Spurs fan, was the fact that everybody gave 110% yesterday. There was absolutely no stone left unturned by that performance from Tottenham Hotspur. They were absolutely excellent across the pitch, from Hugo Lloris through the defence, the midfield, and also the attack as well. Very, very solid performance and a surprise. Hello from Manchester City. Jack Grealish makes his debut. Pep Guardiola said it's an incredible debut. I think he didn't really mean that, to be honest. Grealish looked all right, but at the same time, City just looked flat. And it is their third defeat in a row by the 1-0 scoreline. They haven't scored in their last 3 competitive matches, and they've lost every single one of them. So, to me, it is an absolute foregone conclusion that Chelsea have ruined Pep Guardiola and Manchester City by winning the Champions League with Kai Havertz's goal. There were lots of other games to talk about in the weekend. Watford get off to a very good start, beating Aston Villa 3-2. Dean Smith not too happy with that. Watford will be over the moon. Good result for Everton as well against Southampton, although I was very impressed with former Chelsea boy Tino Livramento, who of course we've uploaded a video about here on GBFC 2. Everton win 3-1. I'm trying to think if there's any other matches that I've missed. There might be, and I'm sorry if you're a fan of one of those clubs, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Wanted to keep this one casual, wanted to keep it calm. Going to go back now and check on the dog because I had to take him to the vets this morning because he's not very well, he's not been eating. It's very, very hot at the moment in Bali as well, so I was just wondering if it was like something to do with the temperature. He's not even 5 months old yet, so I've got to keep him under wraps. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to GBFC 2 if you are new. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys